Build the wall. The construction of a wall at the southern U.S. border, it's become a very contentious subject over the years around the nation and around your dinner table, I'm sure. Now the White House is defending a homeland security plan to close 4 gaps in the border wall between, right around Yuma, Arizona. That's one of the busiest areas for illegal border crossings.
Why is the Biden administration building a border wall in Arizona?
So we are not finishing the wall. We are cleaning up the mess the prior administration left behind in their failed attempt to build a wall.
Interesting. Homeland Security saying that the area presents safety and life hazards risks for both immigrants and agents, particularly around a section of the Colorado River. Let's bring in Saman Nasseri, immigration attorney. Got to talk to you about this. As soon as I saw it, I thought this should be massive news. Then candidate Joe Biden actually making a promise about the border wall in 2020. We want to play this sound clip for you.
There will not be another foot of wall constructed on my administration.
Not another foot. Do you think this is a flip-flop?
Absolutely, it's a flip-flop. If you're asking me point blank, I mean, he's filling in an area of the wall that is known for people to be crossing through and coming through the border with. They cross through this area regularly to get to that part of the Colorado River, and they cross across the river. And this is kind of like a landing ground for people from all over the world. They know this. They
know this, and the fact is that that quote from Jean-Pierre was that we're cleaning up the mess of the previous administration. But the previous administration wanted these gaps in the wall filled out, too.
Previous administration wanted this gap in the wall filled out as well. So they're following up. They're taking that budget that was allocated for this, and they're going to get the construction done.
A 5-year-old girl recently drowned while crossing the Colorado River, sadly. In Yuma near this section where the wall is scheduled to be reinforced. Authorities now report more than 235,000 immigrant encounters in the Yuma sector since October of last year. So would this help?
That's one way to look at it, but you also have to think that a large percentage of those numbers are people that have come from other countries, not just Mexico. And if you think that people are going to get back on flights and go back to Africa or Russia or, parts of Central America and not try to cross the border still at the same time and ask for asylum, I think it's a very skewed view. That people are still going to be trying to cross if they're coming from all those parts of the world to get to the United States. I don't think that little section of construction is going to deter them.
So is there going to be a new hot spot? Because clearly this is one of the busiest for illegal crossings. So now they'll just come to another section, either in Arizona or in Texas?
Oh, absolutely. It'll be Arizona, Texas, San Diego. They're going to make their way through that wall because they're determined. They came here with a purpose. They're not just going to turn around and go because this gap is going to get filled in. That's all of a sudden going to stop people that from illegally coming to the United States.
So in your research and also just being knowledgeable about immigration and the patterns that we're seeing right now, what do you believe is the White House's logic here?
I think the White House is looking at it from the safety concern. There have been numerous deaths in this area, not just the girl that was in January 6th that passed away while crossing this wall. I think the White House is trying to view it as a safety issue and maybe trying to get a better grasp and concentrate things more, like you said, pushing them to other areas of the wall and maybe focus it in one area to maybe have more control, because at the same time they're doing this, we don't have enough officers. There are not enough border protection officers to be at every single section of the wall, at every part of the border to see who's coming in. So by doing this, he may be able to concentrate it a little bit more and put officers where they need to be so they can get a better idea of who's coming in.
Saman Nasseri, thank you very much for your time.
Absolutely, Adrienne. Thank you so much.
Thank you for watching. Go to newsnationnow.com to find NewsNation on your television provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.